NBA Straya, how are you going? Are you going? Are you right? I hope so. You bloody well better be, because it is Friday. TGIF, am I right? October 25 all day. Tell you what, I'd hate to be a tin in about 45 minutes' time, because I'm going to get deleted. I'm your host, James Clements. You can also see my ugly mug on the panel, the official NBL Supercoach show. That's fun. The AFL Today show, NFL Straya, the official AFL Supercoach show, all the good stuff there. I'm back in Larry Armour Studio, so if you're watching on the old YouTubes, you can see the awesome old studio hanging out. No fancy bloody green screen. We're going old school. Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you what, today was awesome. The NBA is fully back. You got the Wizards stinking it up. You've got Minnesota pulling out a rip snorter against every... Oh, God, it was good. We're going to wrap all that. In the NBA Straya Game Wraps, we've also got That's the Knife, Old Mate, No Mate, Spud of the Night, Better than Lonzo Ball. We have some, the unpopular opinion of the day, and Outback Takehouse. We're serving up a flame grilled take. There is a very brief Shane Hill shoot your shot, light 'em up award. And I believe, a sweaty, hairy bloke of the week, which is always good. And then we'll preview every single game for the weekend ahead. It's our first weekend of NBA back, which means, what does it mean? Plenty of bloody couch time. That's what it means. You just sit on the couch and watch the basketball. Nothing better than a hungover, couch-laden weekend day. And just a crap ton of basketball. All right. Let's get into it. Episode 1140 of NBA Straya. Let's go! The worst of days!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya. You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the Shaq Attack.
You better. Especially for Joel Embiid. I enjoyed Chuck and Shaq just teeing off an Embiid today. That was fun. You'll be paid 3 years, $193 million, Shaq. We're not steelworkers. We're not nurses. You got to play basketball 4 times a week, 3 times a week. And then Shaq's asked about it as well, and he's like, no, let me answer your question there, Ernie. Basically, they went after him because Joel Embiid is sitting out back-to-backs. They announced it before the season. And I don't know, I kind of agree with Embiid, with Chuck and Shaq to say, you know what, you can actually just take it easy on back-to-backs. Like, you don't have to not play. But at the same time, I can also see the Sixers. We had this in the Outback Takehouse the other day, didn't we? Where I was like, hang on. I mean, you don't have to, just come out and say it. You can just not play him. It's fine. What are you doing? But at the same time, just put him in cotton wool until after the All-Star break, if that's the case. Just imagine being a Philly fan and, going to a game and you're like, oh, Jesus, got to make sure I don't go to that bloody, the second night of a back-to-back because I just won't see Joel Embiid. It's weird. Anyway, they aren't steel workers. They're basketball players. And they're getting paid an absolute crap ton of money to play basketball. It's like, what is it? If you're a painter, you paint, motherfucker. If you are a rapper, you rap, motherfucker. Love that one. All right, let's get into it. The daily. Oh, watch out. We've got the actual bloody drop. Hey, it's a daily whip around. I'm back in the studio. I know where all the buttons are. It's bloody good. Kawaii. His old trainer, former Clippers trainer Randy Shelton, suing the team for wrongful termination. And interesting stuff here in this one. It was all broken out by Chris Haynes. For wrongful termination, he says, after he was fired after complaining that Kawhi Leonard was being subjected to unsafe and illegal treatment for injuries. Oh boy. Also, lawyers said that he's willing to talk with the NBA about his knowledge of how the Clippers recruited Kawhi. Though not part of damages relief sought by Shelton, he'll fully cooperate with the NBA should league investigators consider prosecution and sanction against the Clippers, which is pretty fun. The Clippers, as you'd expect, issued a statement as well saying Mr. Shelton's claims were investigated and found to not be without merit. Were found to be without merit, rather. To be found not to be without merit would mean that they had merit. We honoured Mr. Shelton's employment contract and paid him in full. This lawsuit is a belated attempt to shake down the Clippers based on accusations that Mr. Shelton should know are false. Pretty interesting. That entire Kawhi Clippers thing is just funky as, like, I don't know, just cheese has been left out in the sun for about a month and a half. Just gross. Funky is one of the squid's nappies. Squid number 2. God, I don't know what that kid eats. Well, I do know because I'm his dad. But wow, whatever he does to it as it comes out the other end is brutal. Anyway, Kawhi, it's weird. We're not going to see him for a couple of weeks anyway, so yeah, maybe something funky's going on there. DeJounte Murray, he's out indefinitely after suffering a fracture of his left hand. That sucks, especially if you drafted him in fantasy game 1. And same thing goes for James Wiseman. Erstwhile Pacer. Now, tore his Achilles yesterday. That sucked. And that's what I was talking about on yesterday's show. It's weird how we become like internet doctors. You say you look around like you've been kicked or been shot in the bloody ankle. It's an Achilles hit. But it wasn't Achilles. That sucks. Johnny Isaac went out yesterday as well. I hit on this very briefly. Turns out it was a hip problem. He'd gone into the game with like a hip contusion. He fell and sort of just like exacerbated it seemingly. We'll see if he actually pops back against their home for their home opener against the Nets, which is tomorrow, which will be interesting to see. And Brandon Spindles Miller, if we're going to keep talking about spindly, weirdo kind of highly drafted swingman, the Charlotte Hornets, Brandon Miller, strained his left glute. Oh, he's hurt his bum. It sucks, actually, because I'm fully invested in Brandon Miller. And I guess his butt, but that's just, I want him to be healthy. He's been ruled out for Friday's game against the Hawks already. That sort of sucks. Might be all right. Like Josh Green, Aussie Josh Green, he's dealing with like Achilles soreness as well. So he'd be like a like-for-like replacement, essentially. He's a bit shorter, but, still scoring defensive-minded wing. Just plug that in next to LaMelo and away we bloody go. But we'll see what happens with our man's Josh Green. Fingers crossed he's healthy and good. Zion is all good to go for the Pelicans. He's back from his illness, apparently. That beignet got through his system, apparently. That funky. It was a funky beignet. And Paul George, we got an update. His bone bruise. He's not going to play the next couple of games of the road trip of the Sixers. And they'll give an update next week. So, yeah, we knew that he was always going to be out for about a week. And the fun sort of stuff popping out from yesterday. KD and Devin Booker going, you know what's weird? That new Clippers arena, it's fucked. That wall, it changes your perspective. We missed free throws. It was weird. You're like, yeah, I guess. That's pretty cool. KD's like, yeah, it was incredible. Loved it. I absolutely love the wall that they got. It's insane. Steve is doing a great job with his franchise. KD said he was staring at the wall the entire game. KD, you should be fucking staring at the court. What are you doing? Get your head in the fucking game, Kevin. Come on, mate. Come on. What are you doing? Anyway, but yeah, into it don't. Clippers kicked it off with a loss in overtime against the Suns yesterday, obviously, but apparently it's cool to play there. Right, let's do some game wraps from today. Game wraps. Day 3, let's do it. Boston kicked the absolute bejesus out of Washington, 122-102. This is actually a pretty close game because Jordan Poole was massive in the first quarter. He hit 5 threes. It was sick. He had 17 points. Unfortunately, because he's Jordan Poole and he's playing the reigning champions, he scored 9 points the rest of the bloody game. And hit one more 3, which is much more like the Jordan Poole we know. The Wiz, though, I love this. Good on the Wizards. I'll talk about him later in but they started the 2 rookies, Alexander Sarr and your man Bub Carrington. Oh, what a great name that is, Bub. But also, Bilal Coulibaly, who essentially should be is a rookie. He's young as shit, and he's out there. So it's basically Kuz and Poole, and then 3 super young dudes. Which screams to me, trade Kuzma. Just saying. It was incredible. So even after that first quarter explosion from Jordan Poole, the Celtics just clawed it back anyway and went, fucking get out of here, idiots. They're up by 1. And then rolled from there. They ripped off, like, they got up 32 in this game. It was like a 65-41 run across the second and third quarter, and the game was DUN done. Pack her up, boys. You're done. Most of that was because those aforementioned rookies had a pretty rough first game in the NBA, didn't they? Alexander Sarr went 1 of 7. Bub Carrington, 1 of 6. That's fine. It's their first game, the rookies. That's how it goes. For the Wizards, though, it's more about their veterans. Like Kuzma was shit house, 12 points on 6 of 16 shooting. He was absolutely los horrible, as a mix of the Spanish and French might say. And Jordan Poole ended up, as mentioned, with 26. But really, Celtics just still being hotter than fish grease from 3. They went and hit 17 threes after hitting, 29 the other day. Not bad, good size. When you hit 17 threes and the other team hit 7, you're probably going to win that game a lot of the time. And they did. So that was kind of cool. For the Celtics, Tatum was still very, very good. In 29 minutes, he had 25, 11, and 6. You're taking the piss, Jason. Jalen also started off a bit slow, then got up to 27 points and shot the hell out of it, which was kind of fun to see. It was like, oh, bloody hell, I haven't hit any shots. And then rips off a 27-point, 8 rebound, 3 assist, 4 steal effort on 10 of 20 shooting, hit 3-6 from 3. Derek White had 19, 4 and 4 as well. And away the Celtics went. Peyton Pritchard chucked in 15. He hit 5 of 10 from 3. It's like, where the hell was that the other day, Peyton, when you were trying to break the record? He's like, oh, I don't know, man. Joe Muzzle's yelling at me. But yes, look, this is kind of how the Wizards are going to go. They're just not very good. They'll put up a bit of a fight. My name is Jonas Valanciunas. He's on that team, and you're like, why? And no one knows. But he had 18 and 5. He was a minus 17 in 20 minutes, though. That's pretty good. Corey Kispert didn't have a sort of breakout game as I was kind of expecting. So, yeah, the Wizards are bad. Boston good. There we go. Good stuff. Anyway, Boston 2-0. I'll talk about them again later. The Dallas Mavericks finally ran over the top of the San Antonio Banderas Spurs 120-109 at home to open up the Klay Thompson era of the Dallas Mavericks in winning fashion. Wembanyama they did a great job defending Wemby. So if you've watched this game, his shooting at the rim was just, they did a fucking great job. The Mavericks. They are also kind of like uniquely positioned to be able to do a half-decent job on Wemby with Gafford and Lively, who both played really good games. They just sort of took him out of his spots and fucked the French guy up. And he just couldn't quite impact the game as much as you'd usually sort of think. So it was pretty crazy to see. It was a fun game because the Spurs actually led at the half. And you might be like, geez, Jim, why is that fun? Well, it's like, here we go. Bit of a barn burner. This will be good. And then the Mavericks just went whack, bang, bang, bang. Start of the third quarter, they're down. And you're like, here you go. What's going on here? And boom. Klay Thompson 3, Kyrie 3, Klay Thompson another 3, Luka a 3, Kyrie again, and then PJ Hamilton Washington hits a 3. And you're like, what the hell just happened? The game completely flipped on its head. They're up 17. You're like, what? Jesus, they ripped off a 22-6 run. It's ridiculous. So 60, like I just talked about the Boston versus Washington run across the second and third quarters, 65-41. This one was 64-40 run across the third and fourth quarter to get the Mavs up 21 points, and they just cruised from there. So this is it. It's sort of what I hit on yesterday in the game preview, right? I was talking about how I just don't know if the Spurs offense can keep up with that Dallas offense. But by the same token, like I'm also very, very worried about the Spurs defense outside of Wemby slowing down Dallas's offense. And that's exactly what happened. Because Klay just went, hang on a second, I'm Klay Thompson. Check this out. What? Bang. And it was awesome. And like they've just got a team that sort of makes sense. And that's kind of the fun part of this. As I said, hierarchy. It's very simple there in Dallas. Luka, Kyrie, boom. Klay's just like, I'm just going to hang out and hit threes. This is unreal. Luka's like running back on defense before the ball's left fucking Klay's hand. It's awesome. That's a vibe. So 19 turnovers killed the Spurs as well. That certainly did not help. Versus only 9 for the Mavs. That's pretty brutal. 19 threes obviously in the end for the Mavs too. Versus 12 for the Spurs. They just don't quite have enough on offense. Wemby with a 17, 9, and 1 block. 4 turnovers as well. Pretty brutal with only 1 assist. Harrison Barnes, Black Falcon with 17, 18s each for Champ Bagney and Jeremy Sohan. Chris Paul, yeah, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, not bad. He's going to pop up again in a second though because he wasn't very good. I'll tell you what, Seven Castle did look handy. Got a bit of time for that. And he's at the CP3 school for point guards who want to be good. So that's pretty nice. For Dallas, 28, 10, and 8 for Luka Doncic, 4 of 11 from downtown. Klay had 22 and 3 steals with 7 boards. He was awesome. And this is kind of it. I just want healthy players. Healthy Klay is fun Klay. 15, 3 and 2 with 2 steals for Kyrie, who hit 3 of 7 from downtown. Klay hit 6 of 10 from downtown as well, which is pretty psycho. 15, 11 and 6 for Derek Lively, and Gafford had 9 and 6 as well. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, they even mentioned this on the broadcast, and I'm like, yeah, this is what we've been doing for ages now on the old NBA Straya. Once they traded for Gafford, throughout that playoff run, we're basically just combining their stats. And they were awesome because they're essentially 28 minutes for Lively and 19 minutes for Gafford. And you're like, basically, there's your entire center run, which is kind of fun. Dinwiddie got out there for 3 minutes at the end as well, which is pretty gnarly. Q Grimes, 1 of 6, not great, but still, good win for Dallas. Hardy was very nice off the bench. He had 11. Nice. Other games. We had an absolute bit of a bloody laugher in the end. OKC Denver, 102-87. The Thunders win. You might have listened to your mate Jim pick this on yesterday's show. You better been listening. It was a pretty good call. But this game was awesome. Denver got up to a big lead. It was like 8 points out of nowhere. They were just clamping OKC. And then what happened, Jim? Oh, Nikola Jokic went to the bench. See, OKC had already pulled back the 8-point lead by that point. It was 25-23. Then when Nikola Jokic checks back in his usual spot, around 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, they were down 8. And you're like, oh, geez. So it's like a 16-point turnaround at that point. Turnovers are always going to be a problem for the Nuggets, but early on it was a big problem. They had like 9 really early on. They finished with 15. And it seemed like OKC, just you can't give them a fucking sniff. But the big problem for the Nugs, and we sort of saw this one coming, right? Bench scoring. It's like, oh, we got Dario the homie Saric. It's like, yeah, I watched him airball a 3. Oh, we got Russell Westbrook. I also saw him airball a 3. It wasn't great. So Rusty ends up with 2 of 10 shooting for 6 points, 1 of 6 from 3. Yeesh. Their entire bench. Are you ready for this one? That 1 of 6 from Rusty was the only 3 their bench made. They took 16 threes. They went 1 of 16. That is brutal. They only made 7 shots total, that bench, on a, what's that, 28 shot. Jesus, that is brutality. Not ideal, I tell you. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem, especially when the Joker has a 16, 12, and 13 triple-double. You're like, yeah, that's the Joker. That's what he does. But what did I say on yesterday's show? Do you remember? Oh, geez, if Jam and Jamal Murray, this is like an instant replay. If Jam and Jamal Murray has a bit of a rough time against that awesome backcourt of Oklahoma City, he might be a bit of trouble. And he was. Like, they didn't even start Caruso. They start Isaiah Joe. And Dort, SGA, they just ruined Jam and Jamal's shit. Like, he couldn't do anything. He went 4 of 14 to Jam and Jamal Murray for his 12 points, had 3 turnovers and 4 assists. I'm no math magician, but that's a pretty shitty assist-to-turnover ratio. Aaron Gordon with the 12, 9, and 2. Michael Porter Jr., 5 of 17. Brutal shooting from him. 3 of 10 from downtown for his 15 and 8. And this is it. Like, Christian Braun, he wasn't bad. 16 and 7, a couple of blocks, a couple of steals. But it's just the lack of sort of class and, like, the proven abilities of, like, a Bruce Brown. It is amazing that Bruce Brown pisses off from Denver, goes to get paid, and he's injured. And we just never hear from him again. But they sort of don't have that El Jefe Green. They don't have the notorious KCP. They don't have, who's their other? They don't even have Reggie Jackson anymore. Like, they just got El Jefe Green, like just that solid veteran core off the bench. Bringing Russell Westbrook to go 2 of 10, like fucking anybody could go 2 of 10. What are we doing here? He was a minus 24 in 21 minutes was Rusty. So it was brutal against his old team, OKC. And OKC were fucking awesome. God, they were good. 25, 14, and 5 with 4 blocks for Chet Holmgren. There were moments where you're like, oh, fuck, he's getting towed by Joker. And then he's just going back the other way and going, don't worry about that. Check this out. He went 0 of 5 from 3. He hits a couple of threes, and this is even a bigger blowout. And like, really, it's OKC's defense is always going to be the fucking... They held Denver to 87 points. This is it. This is the awesome part about OKC. We're going to talk about their fucking youth. We'll talk about their scoring ability, the explosiveness of SGA and stuff. But it's their defense that reigns supreme. They just fucking shut down Denver. Jokic has a triple-double and they lose. Chet fucking towed him up in the end. It was awesome to watch. 11 of 18. He went 0 of 5 from 3. Absolute chaos. J-Dub, he had 12, 3 and 3. Not a sterling shooting night for him, 5 of 16. SJ with 28, 7 and 8. God, he's bloody good. 11 and 24. He took 6 threes, did SGA. That's kind of like the one extra thing that he can add to his quiver. You don't add it to your bow. You add it to your quiver to put on your bow. Dort, 3 steals. I love him. He's awesome. 15 for Aaron Wiggins. He had a great game. He had 15 and 6. Absolutely shredded. Just wasn't missing. And yeah, they kicked us. Usman, dang it, 2 threes. That was awesome. But they just looked super solid. Caruso didn't have to do too much. He played 19 minutes, had 4 assists, 6 rebounds, didn't hit a shot. Didn't matter. It was a plus 19. Thunder up. Love that game. That was awesome. Is it because you picked OKC and you went 4 of 4 today, Jim? Yes. And then we had a barn burner. Fires the laser! Well, Sacramento don't get to fire the laser because they lost. Oh, woo! 117, 115 off the back of a foul right at the very end. And a missed 3 at the death that was Keegan Murray, which actually fucking wasn't too far off, I'll tell you. With the Wolves up 2 after the Ant-Man made free throws at the very end. He just charges to the rim, gets the call with 2 seconds left. Off you go. And it was pretty chaotic. Keegan Murray misses the shot. It looked a bit wonky, but fuck, it was close. And considering I'd bet the Wolves, I was a bit fucking, oh, geez, don't hit that. And then he missed it. Thank you. But there was a couple of moments, and like, at this one point, right, you're just sort of going, oh, God, with 38 seconds left, they've fouled Rudy. He hits only 1 free throw, so we're tied at 115, and then you go, all right, it's clutch time. This is awesome. This is why you bring DeMar DeRozan in, and Fox misses the shot, and then Keegan Murray misses the shot. And I was watching this game going, all right, one of the things that I talked about on the last preseason show was like, all right, what does DeMar actually give this Sacramento team? And you're watching this game, you're like, oh, fuck, a lot. He is very handy because he just gives you another off-the-dribble creator, which is something Harrison Barnes was, checks notes, not able to fucking do at all. And then DeMar also just gives them an awesome go-to fucking scorer that they just didn't go to at the end because Fox is also a great clutch scorer. But he looked fantastic and he fit way better than I thought he might because I'm like, oh yeah, DeMar has just spent the last 7 years working on his handle, getting better at passing, and he was fucking awesome. He has 26, 8, and 2. 12 of 14 on the free throw line, which is the other key thing. DeMar just gets to the free throw line. That's just what he does. It's what he's always done. It's just cheap, awesome points. Keeps it ticking over. That's exactly what Sacramento did not have from Harrison Barnes. And it's sort of the thing, next week we'll do once we get to Wednesday's show, we'll do a week 1 wrap up. What have we learned from every team? And Sacramento right away in their first game, I'm like, ooh, they're much more dangerous. I like this. Even though they lost, and the Ginger Ninja Kevin fucking goes 1 of 4 and 0 of 3 from downtown. You get paid to do one thing, Ginger Ninja, hit threes. Hit a motherfucking 3. Yeah, 2 points. 15-11 for De'Aaron Fox. That's kind of the downside. It's he's kind of trying to figure out how to play with DeMar. He shot 6 of 14 for his 15 points. Keegan Murray, though, is fantastic. And this is the thing that they need, right? If you want to replace Harrison Barnes, you go, well, Keegan Murray, how about you just do that? And we'll bring in DeMar DeRozan, and that'll be sick. Malik Monk's healthy. He's coming off the bench. He's hotter than fish grease as well. 17 and 4 for him. So he shot 6 of 9. Nice. Only 1 or 2 from downtown. But then you had 24 and 8 with only 1 assist from the Souvlaki King, Domantas Sabonis. Oh, you have the combination. Mate, thanks, Domantas. Cheers, mate. This was a really fun game. I really now like the Kings. They went 11 to 29 from 3. They've got Dougie McBuckets coming off the bench. The Ukrainian stepladder Alex Len played a surprisingly okay 6 couple of minutes. My thing is, Keon Ellis, it worked last year. You bring back Kevin Huerta because he's healthy. I want to see more Keon Ellis. Piss the Ginger Ninja off, with all due respect to my ginger brethren, but bloody hell. Piss off, Ginger Ninja. Sacramento, dangerous. Minnesota, also dangerous. Why is that, Jim? Ant-Man. He is awesome. 10 of 24, 5 of 15 from downtown, but hit fucking massive shots when he needed to. They got down in this game, and he's like, oh, fuck this. They scored 9 straight points, basically all because of Ant-Man. He ends up 32, 7 and 4. 33, 5 and 4 for Julius Randle. That's right. He's back, baby. He was absolutely fucking unstoppable. He was on a heater early on. He had 11 points, 3 or 4 from downtown in the first quarter. Malik Monk didn't miss in the first quarter either. He had 9 points. But Randle just kept it cooking. He had 19 points. He was absolutely crushing it. And you're like, Jesus Christ, look at him go. But the Wolves' defense is like a bit of the problem. Like Sacramento just didn't miss for a while. Then they sort of slowly pulled it back. They forced some turnovers, all the shots. Like shooting 59%, the Kings were at one point. You're like, bloody hell. And then the Wolves just got on a nice little roll, got it down to 50%. And you're like, hang on a second, they've pulled themselves. And then it drops all the way to 46% at the end of the game. Randall was bloody fantastic on the offensive end. Hit 5 or 6 from downtown. Rudy Gobert, this stuff at tower. With only the 3 points, but 11 boards. And Naz Reid, bloody hell, 19, 13, and 3. I mentioned this after the game the other day. He needs to take that little bit more of a step up to help replace Cat, and he did today. Hit 4 of 7 from downtown. Even though Dom DiVincenzo went 4 of 10 and 1 of 6 from downtown, didn't really matter. They hit 23s in the end because Randall hit his 5, Ant-Man hit 5, a couple of Mike Conley ones. Nicky Alexander-Walker, old no, he hit 3 threes as well. Jingles got 1 assist. There's the entire Australian player watch for today. 1 assist for Joe Ingles in 5 minutes. But I'll tell you what, he looks fucking amazing in that jersey. Great win by the Wolves, 117-115. Let's do an NBA Straya approved performance of the night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Klay Thompson, he's back, baby. That was awesome. What a great debut for Klay. 22 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and 7 of 13 shooting, 6 of 10 from downtown in only 26 minutes. Blew that game wide open against the Spurs, who were a dangerous, as we saw in the first half, dangerous floater. But fucking hell. After years and years and years of Dallas and Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock, sniper alert. Having Klay next to Luka and Kyrie is a fucking cheat code. Even Josh Green, like I love Josh Green, obviously. He's an Aussie. But just having that knockdown, fuck you 3-point shooter who's going to take 10 threes and hit fucking 6 of them is huge. On top of that, Ant-Man, like he gets the player of the day vibe as well. They're 32, 7, and 4. He shot 10 of 24. Not great, but still not bad. 5-15 from 3. But won them the game by just going, fucking give me the ball. Just every time they got down, he'd sort of lead the comeback and then right at the death, charges the rim, hits both free throws as cool as you like. I bloody love Ant-Man. And an addendum to yesterday's, Paolo Banchero. He won the NBA Straya Approved Performance of the night yesterday. The 33 and 10, was it? He became actually the 6th youngest player in NBA history with 30 and 10 in a season opener. 6th youngest. Remarkably, he's only the 3rd youngest Magic player to do it. Shaq and T-Mac. There you go. Pretty bloody good. Who was Spud of the night? Spud. It is Spud of the night. Spud of the night. I'll tell you what, it's pretty fun to do the show and listen to all the drops again in my headphones as opposed to the studio speaker. It's a bit more giggly from you, mate Jim, going, well, that was funny. I remember that one. CP, 3 points. I told you I mentioned Chris Paul again. He had 3 points today in his Spurs debut because he's older than shit. 1 of 6 from the floor. Not ideal. But I mean, at the same time, he had the 8 assists. Alexander Sarr. Look, we don't dump on rookies when it comes to the old Spud of the night. Sarr and Bub Carrington, 2 of 13 combined. Not ideal. Rusty Westbrook. Do you get the feeling he's going to be a fucking localized denizen of Spud of the Night this year there in Denver before they eventually kick him to the fucking curb? 2 of 10, 1 of 6 from 3. Just gross. Minus 24. Well, negative 24, which is pretty nuts. As mentioned, though, you're 1 of 6 for Chris Paul, the 1 of 4 from downtown. Najee Marshall goes 1 of 6. Q Grimes goes 1 of 6 as well. The 5 of 18 from Wemby, if you look at his shot chart as well, there's just a lot of missed shots at the rim, which is pretty bloody crazy. And Michael Porter Jr. with the 5 of 17. I would, however. Geez, Jim, did anyone shoot the special number today? It's only 4 games. You know what? Ask and ye shall receive. Because Jason Tatum, who is out there having an incredible game in 28 minutes. He had that insane 25 point, 11 rebound, 6 assist game. He also, what do you shoot? I'm just checking. What do you shoot from 3? Oh no, he did it! Woo! Chill. Yeah, he shot 311 from downtown, you little beauty. Thank you, Jason Tatum. What about old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates.
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 Who's got no mates today? I love Mark Jones, who's calling the games for Sacramento when he's not doing the national broadcast. But saying that Naz Reid was holding Malik Monk's fucking 6-man trophy, bit weird. Pretty sure Naz Reid won that one pretty fair and square if you just look at the voting. I do love Mark Jones. It was weird. I'll tell you what, that is weird today. As we had Mark Jones with his dulcet tones on the Sacramento Wolves game, and then you also had Iron Eagle on the Thunder Nuggets game. And they both have very, very distinctive, awesome, deep, great broadcast voices. And like every time, like I was, on League Pass, just sort of switching between the two when I was watching the NFL on the big telly, watching these two games, sort of switching between the two of them. And you're like, I'd have to keep looking back at the screen going, which one am I fucking watching? Like, just waiting for them to say names because their voices are surprisingly similar. Also, old mate, no mates, Josh Giddey. What the fuck are you getting booed for at this point? If you're booing Josh Giddey, blow it out your ass. It's a shitty, weird, fucked up situation. But at the same time, like, Karl Malone, anybody? Like, fucking hell. The Josh Giddey stuff is just getting fucking strange. And his teammates, he reckons, were a bit thrown off by it too. And then people are, oh, nah, he always just fucks up New Orleans, man. It's like, all right. Let's see what happens now. Anyway, pantsing of the night.
Fatty, fat.
Oh, Alexander Sar got danced by Tatum. Sir, may I have this dance? He fucked him up. Put him in the old spin cycle a little bit there too. And Russell Westbrook. Look, I already mentioned him in Spud of the Night, but how about pantsing of the night? Getting blocked by Russell Westbrook in the year 2024. Case and Wallace. That's a pantsing. Also, Russell Westbrook pantsing himself with an air ball to just kick things off. Just remarkable. It's like, it was such a bad shot. It was hilarious. Anyway, what about better than Lonzo Ball?
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. I'll tell you what, that Peyton Pritchard, 5 of 10 from downtown. That's better than Lonzo Ball. It's better than Bronny James. His three-quarter court shot at the end of the third quarter, I kind of nailed that, knocked it in. He is a fucking half-court shot plus specialist at this point. That is remarkable how he just keeps on hitting him. Loved it. But also better than Bronny James / Lonzo Ball. Like the Peyton Pritchard one's obvious and easy. There's like, I don't know, the Julian Strawther's a bit all right. Don't mind that. Alex Ducas got out there for 1 minute. And I'll tell you what, he didn't bother any of the scoreboard, so he's not quite better than Bronny James, who at least got his one rebound and took 2 shots and missed them both. But Alex Ducas is now an NBA player. How fucking cool is that? I love that. He's going to pop again later in the Australian Player Watch. And now, because we are actually in the proper fun NBA Straya studio, you know what we can do? It's time for everybody's favorite recurring segment. I love it so much. And I'm so happy it's back to go with the actual sound effect. It's Magic Tweet of the Day. I was really impressed with the Lakers on Tuesday night in their home opener. Coach JJ Redick had a good game plan against the Timberwolves and AD looked great on both ends of the court. What do we say? Thanks, Magic. He also had some other great ones. Let's do it. Every team in the West should be worried about Dallas this season because the Mavs are built for the capital P playoffs. Klay Thompson looked great in his Dallas Mavericks debut, scoring 22 easy points. The Mavs were missing a third scorer last year. Dash, now they have one in Klay Thompson. What do we say? Thanks, Magic. And then finally, let's do a Dickhead of the Week. Dickhead of the Week! Yeah, no one's stopping Nick Claxton this week for trying to tear the fucking head off our beloved Dyson the Vacuum Daniels. Blow it out your ass, Nick Claxton. Dog act from a dog bloke. You're the dickhead of the week. All right, we'll be back with some YNRs right after, let us say, this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You listen to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're listening to
Straya.
NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do some yeah-nahs. Get around them. Yeah-nahs are usually brought to you by the NBA Straya shop. You got to click through the links on the social to get to it at the moment because just got to fix some stuff, but it's all right. Go check them out. Get a t-shirt, get a hoodie, get a bloody coffee mug. Go on, do it. I've got some stubby holders there too. I only got a couple of this coffee mugs left, so I better get around them. Right, some yeah-nahs. The Wizards have got the right idea, don't they? Yeah-nah, yes. What are you going to do? Like, it was weird that they traded for Jonas Valanciunas, or signed Jonas Valanciunas. But it's fucking good that they're like, well we're starting Alexander Sarr. We're going to start Bob Carrington. We're going to start Bilal Coulibaly. I loved it. Yes, you got your heads kicked in, but fucking, like, you're not winning the title this year, are you? You need to get games and time into those kids and get them going. See what you got. No pussyfooting around. No taking it easy. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Because there will be games where Jordan Poole and Kuzma and stuff will sort of keep you in these games. You might win a few here and there. But you also don't want to fuck up your chances of going and getting Cooper Flag. So, that's some... Like, the Wizards are already in the tank. It's amazing, but it's the exact right thing they should be doing. Just play your kids. See what you got. Don't fuck it up. Did that game assuage your Klay Thompson fears, Jim? Yeah, nah. Yeah, bit. I didn't think it was going to be a fucking disaster. I was much more worried about, like, right, what happens away from Golden State, but a couple of years now away from his injuries, a full off season, and he can come into this, and two fucking mercurial, awesome ball handlers that can set him up and he's wide open for these threes. That's kind of the fun part for Klay. We know he can shoot the piss out of it. That's always going to be cool. But it was the 3 steals and shit like that for me that just went, hang on. If he can play a hint of fucking defense and not be a turnstile like he has been the last 2 years, that's good. So it assuaged them a little bit, but I'll get to this in the unpopular opinion. We can just push the brakes a little bit. Am I digging into it, Dome? Yeah, nah, yeah. Like, it was really cool to get feedback from the players about the arena. I mean, the wall looks pretty sick. And as I sort of hit on yesterday, I just want to go there now and fucking judge it for myself. I actually haven't broken down how many of the NBA arenas I've been to. It's probably at least half, I want to say. Yeah, pretty easily half. So, yeah, I want to get to that one. Check it out. And then finally, is that Nuggets bench a problem? Yeah, nah, yeah. I mean, anytime you can shoot that bloody badly from 3. 0 of 1 for Dario. 0 of 1 for Zeke Naji. 0 of 1 for Vlatko Kankara. 0 of 4 for Peyton Watson. 1 of 6 for Rusty. 0 of 2 for Julian Strother. Hunter Thompson goes 0 of 1. Hunter Thompson definitely feels like a made-up NBA player. Jalen Pickett. What did he shoot? 0 of 1 as well. Yeah, it's not ideal. And that's why your team goes 7 of 39 from downtown. You lose a game against another contender in the West. Not ideal for the Nuggets. But Jokic is that good, you might be able to deal with it. My biggest fear is that they will, we're fucking light years ahead. Calvin Booth giving fucking ball tickling interviews and just going, nah, man, we're going young. And Mike Malone's like, fuck that. So it's a bit of a problem. It's a bit weird. But at the same time, if you just give it half a season, they'll probably be fine. But it is worth keeping an eye on. All right, unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Nothing matters until week 3. I mean, you don't want any injuries and shit, and you want to look okay. You don't want to look like a fucking bin fire. But I had written down time to get worried about the Wolves if they had lost that Kings game. And it's like, not really. But it was like if they had lost it in a pretty disastrous kind of fashion, even if it was close, I'm like, they're fine. They're fine. The fact that they won it kind of answered my question. It's the very same as the NFL because the preseason, they don't fucking play anybody anymore. It's like a bit of a piss take. You're still figuring out the first couple of weeks what the fuck is going on with your team, who you're playing, what's going on. It's why it's really usually quite hard to fucking pick the results. And luckily, I went 4-4 today. Did I say that? Just saying. But yeah, until week 3, until you start getting a feel for teams, yeah, just let's all fucking chill. Oh, and yeah, unpopular opinion. How fucked was it with the I can't believe like ESPN getting rid of Zach Lowe so they can pay Kendrick Perkins a fucking extension and just that mouth-breathing dipshit going, I was here to fucking be all like, JJ Redd did a shit job. I was ready to fucking launch into him and criticize him, but then he did a good job. It's like, why were you ready? What? You were already prepped for him to be shit? You're a fucking idiot. Anyway, but at the same time, I'm like, I've definitely done that. What do you expect media members to do? That's what he's paid to do. He's paid to get you fucking angry, Jim. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. All right. Finally, let's do a bit of an Outback Takehouse. What is the song I usually play for this? It's this one over here. Still getting reused to this. Let's do it. It's Friday at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh yeah, 4 for 1 tasty oil drum cans full of icy cold Foster's Lager. That's right, it's Australian, definitely not for horse piss, but for great cold beer. You can actually now get it back in Australia, which is pretty crazy because it always sort of sucked, but hey, we're flogging off to you Yanks for years, so why not flog it back to you? Only at Outback. And today's Flame Grill take is, Boston will go undefeated at home this year. And just everywhere this year. They're going to go 82-0. Only at Etna. I'll tell you what, they look fucking awesome. And this is like the crowning achievement of me just yelling and yelling and yelling all year on the AFL show. All the last few years on the NBA Straya, fucking continuity is king. 13 and 15 dudes. That's how you can just like go, oh, geez, Jordan Poole looks a bit fucking hot. It should be right. And then just kick the fuck out of the Wizards. They'll be right. They probably won't go undefeated at home this year. Like, not having the zinger until like, December, January will bite them in the ass at some point, but won't be for a bit. All right, quick break. Be back with Australian Player Watch right after this one. Whoa, that's the wrong button.
This is Shane Heal, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, as mentioned, very, very, very brief Australian Player Watch. Because Jingles against Sacramento got out there for the 5 minutes. And, I tell you what, he wasn't doing much, was he? No, he wasn't really just bothering much to the score books. You're not spending too much ink on the old Jingles there. He did look amazing in that white jersey. That is a must cop, that Jingles Wolves jersey. His 5 minutes, he had 1 assist and 1 foul. And was a -1 for his 0 points. But, as I mentioned, Alex Ducas makes it out there for the Oklahoma City Thunder in their blowout win over the Denver Nuggets. He got a minute. That was good. Ran around, caused some havoc. Didn't bother the scorebooks either, but he got out there for a minute, and you love to bloody well see it. That was awesome. Enjoyed that immensely. And obviously no Dante Exum for the Mavericks because he's out until... 6 weeks? So, yeah, a bit of a tough one. All right, let's do a very brief Shane Hill shoot your shot, line them up, or what? I think we've got that one here. There we go. Press the bloody thing. It is... Oh, God, I've forgotten where everything is.
Throw it down! Are you healed? Are you healed? Praise the Lord, I'm healed.
Praise the Lord, for I'm healed. It is the Shane Hill.
Shooters shoot.
Shoot your shot, light them up award. Very, very briefly, Klay Thompson hit 6 of 10 from 3. That's the franchise record for most threes in a Mavs debut. It's pretty fucking good. All right, the sweaty, hairy bloke of the week. I enjoyed this one because we had a couple of sweaty, hairy blokes out there playing against each other. They went absolutely hammer and tongs. It was Chet Holmgren and Nikola Jokic. The thing is, Chet is so skinny, it's weird because he sweats heaps and he just looks like a bedraggled cat. Weird. And Joker is just always kind of big and bulky and sweaty, and he looks like, I don't know, a Serbian seal. Like, it's It's weird. He's a weird looking dude. All right, Patty Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check-in. Let's do it. Patty actually had a great video in conjunction with the Utah Jazz about the local Utah tribes. So the indigenous tribes to Utah. This was actually really fucking good. And now I'm trying to remember where I saw it, but it was bloody fantastic. So there's the one with the dog the other day. It might have just been directly through the Jazz that I saw it. But it was fantastic. So if you can track that down, he sort of goes through and pays respect to all the indigenous tribes of the Utah region, and it's really fucking good. So I appreciate the hell out of that. Way to go, Patty. All right, we also went... we went and picked all the games yesterday. We're going to pick all the games for the weekend with a bit of a... Should we do it? Game preview! Game preview! That's right, the NBA Straya Game Previews for the entire weekend ahead. Let's bloody well do it. We went 4 of 4 today. Bang! Which leaves us at going 5 of 10 yesterday and 1 of 2 on opening day. Can you do your maths? Can you do your maths? I think it's 9 of 16. That's on my head. Yeah, good job, mate. That's good. 9 of 16 against the spread to start off the year. We have some absolute cracking games over the weekend, though. As I mentioned, hangover on the couch. Nothing bloody better when you've got some good basketball to watch. Certainly makes it fucking a little bit easier to deal with. I don't know about you, but I'm just like, there, coffee, OJ, bacon, egg, and cheese. And yeah, nothing better. That'll cure what ails you. The Raptors are 4.5-point underdogs at home against Philly tomorrow. I love this for the Raptors. They looked horrible in their opener. That was against Cleveland. Philly don't have Paul George. They don't have Andre Drummond. Will Philly start 0-2? I reckon maybe not. Philly could still win this, but I think Toronto show us a little something. Give me the 4.5 for the Raptors at home. Thank you very much. Brooklyn at Orlando. Brooklyn put up a pretty good fight against Atlanta, didn't they? Orlando are 11.5-point favorites at home, which is a psycho massive line. And I'm still taking it because Brooklyn is sneaky shithouse. Orlando also. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner. Gary Harris shot the piss out of it last game. They also have big wings. They've got plenty of guards to throw at the Brooklyn scorers in Cam Thomas, Dennis Schroeder. I was very tempted to take Brooklyn as a bit of a bounce back considering how well they played against Atlanta, but Orlando could beat them by 20 and I wouldn't fucking blink twice. So I'm taking Orlando at home. Home opener, they're going to go wha-pow. Indy versus the Knicks. We've got a Reggie fucking Miller Spike Lee bowl already. How good is this? The Knicks are 5.5-point favorites at home in their home opener, having gotten their asses kicked by the Boston Celtics the other day. Indy took a bit to get by Detroit until they did. I'm actually going to take the Knicks minus 5.5 at home. I think they can win this one pretty solidly. Cat versus Miles Turner is a really interesting matchup, but more importantly for me, Brunson Halliburton. That is fun as hell. But it's the Knicks wing dudes, isn't it? OG, if he can have a bit of a bounce back scoring night after a shocking opener. Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart. Even though they're not very deep, I think those starting wings and the likes of Deuce McBride can probably do a bit of a job on Indy. This should be a fun as hell game. I'm excited about this matchup. But I think the Knicks can just hold on to win this one by over that 5.5 line. By 6, 8, I reckon. Good stuff. Fun one. Detroit at Cleveland. The Cavs are 10.5-point favorites. Detroit looks solid against Indy. Cleveland at home, though, I fucking love this Cleveland team. There's no two ways around it. I think they can win this one and win it easily. Detroit, the fourth quarter fade out. It's as classic as American bloody apple pie, I'll tell you, sitting on a windowsill. Cleveland are going to kill them. Give me Cleveland. Charlotte go to Atlanta. Dyson Daniels and Trae Young up against possible Josh Green and LaMelo. The plus 4.5 for Charlotte was pretty tempting after their showing against Houston, but now it's up to 5.5. It looks even more tempting, so I'm probably just going to take it. This is a Southwest Division rival. Let's bloody well go. I think Charlotte will make Atlanta work for it, but I don't know. I do, as I sort of mentioned yesterday, in wrapping up that game, I kind of like that Atlanta team. Dyson looked fucking fantastic. They were playing Brooklyn, however. So give me Charlotte. Memphis go to Houston. Will Houston start 0-2 after being the big talk of the preseason? Yes, I'm going to go Memphis plus 1.5. I actually checked to see that hasn't. Oh, that's plus 2.5 now. I'm going to take Memphis. They won by 2 the other day. Broke my heart because I had them minus 2.5. So anyway, but I'll take the 2.5 again for Memphis. Just until proven otherwise, Ja Morant is awesome. Desmond Bain, Marcus Smart. The problem is after that, and Houston are deep and good, but they did just lose to Charlotte at home. So I'm going to take Memphis. Chicago, they go up the road to Milwaukee. I hear it's Algonquin for the good land. The Bucks are 9.5-point favorites against the Chicago Bulls. 9.5 is a bit, and then you're like, hang on a second. This is the team that just kicked the piss out of bloody Philly. So, I don't know. Dame being able to carve up the likes of Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Lonzo. Do you reckon it can happen? Yeah, because I just don't know if Chicago get any answer for your old Giannis Antetokounmpo, because no one really does. So I'm going to take Milwaukee by 9.5. I really don't like this Chicago team. Like, you might go, oh, Vooch though, Jim. It's like, yeah, and they've got Brook Lopez. I think they'll be okay. And Bobby Portis. He's definitely going to want to fight everybody against his old team. Golden State go to Utah. They are only 2.5-point favorites against Utah. I'm going to take Utah plus 2.5 at home. Them as a home underdog, we saw it the other day. They fought right to the very end. I think Golden State might, like they started big in that game yesterday, the Warriors against Portland. Utah started super fucking big. So Taylor Hendricks, Lowry, that's a girl's name, Markkanen, and Walker Kessler. I think Utah can keep up with them, and I don't know. The size might give them a couple of problems, so give me Utah. Phoenix, they take on the Lakers at the Staples Center, staying in LA. I'm going to take the Suns plus 1.5 against the Lakers. Lakers with an extra day's rest. But I think after all that hype, the Bronny vibes, I think look, Devin Booker had a shocking game 1. Fouled out. Looked just all out of sorts. Brad Beal, handy. Kevin Durant, pretty bloody good. But KD versus LeBron, sign me up. I'm going to take the Suns. I believe. New Orleans, Portland, they play a game. They played 2 of these games, I think, this weekend, don't they? Yeah. They are 5.5-point favorites are the Pelicans. Portland look pretty bad in getting their heads kicked in by the Warriors. Pelicans probably with Zion back. 5.5 is just such a squirrely line. I think I'm going to take Portland plus 5.5. Even if New Orleans get this win, it's CJ McCollum going home. Expect a big CJ game. Spindles Ingram had a great game 1. If Zion comes back, it's probably going to throw him off. Just go Portland plus 5.5. Even if the Pelicans win, maybe it's a close one. Then we're going to go head-to-head for these picks for Sunday and Monday. So Sunday, we've got the Clippers at Denver. I think the Denver Nuggets bounce back after today's bozo game and smash their bunnies, the Clippers. Miami go to Charlotte with the Hornets on a back-to-back. Even though Charlotte are only just going to Denver, they play another division rival, the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler left the game yesterday just pissed. He's just like, this fucking sucked. I think they put the hurt on the Hornets. With the Hornets on a back-to-back, give me the Heaters. Boston go to Detroit. They will win that. Obviously, I don't have lines for the Sunday games at the moment, so yeah, we're just going head-to-head. Cleveland will beat Washington even on a back-to-back. I still trust Cleveland more than Washington. OKC at Chicago. The Josh Giddey game. We're going Thunder. Orlando, Memphis. This is a weird, funky game. Orlando having played Brooklyn the day before. Memphis having played Houston. I'm going to trust Orlando, I think, on the road against Memphis. I like both these teams a lot, but I like Orlando more, just saying. Toronto at Minnesota. The Wolves should beat the Raptors with the Raptors on a back-to-back. The Wolves, having just traveled from Sacramento, back home, feeling pretty good. Give me the Wolves. Houston at San Antonio. The Rockets on a back-to-back. I think Houston might struggle, even with Şengün and Jock Landale and co, against Wemby. And I think the Spurs might just have learned a little bit from today's game and put it together against Houston. Dallas, Phoenix. What an awesome game this is. But Phoenix on a back-to-back. I'm going to take Dallas in Phoenix. And then Sacramento, Lakers. Vlade! Shaq It's the 2002 Western Conference Finals again. No, Sacramento, I think, with the Lakers on a back-to-back, I think the Lakers start 1-2. They lose that Phoenix game, then lose the Sacramento game. Sacramento look fucking awesome. And you know DeMar DeRozan's going to be absolutely psycho going home to LA and just wanting to kick some ass and take some names. And then finally, Monday, we've only got the 5 games. Philly go to Indy. I think the Pacers will be way too good for the Sixers. Milwaukee will curb stomp Brooklyn. New Orleans will beat Portland in that second matchup. I think they'll be a little bit more settled, a day off for both of them. Whoever wins the first one loses the second one, basically. And I think Portland, I'm taking them plus 5.5. They could easily win that game tomorrow. I'll take New Orleans on Monday. And then Atlanta, OKC. We've got Alex Ducas, Dyson Daniels, a couple of Aussies there. Love to see it. I'm going to take the Thunder against the Hawks, even with the Thunder on a bit of a road trip. Chicago to OKC, I think they'll be all right. Give me the Thunder. And then Clippers, Golden State. That is a fun game. Harden versus Curry. I'm going to take the Warriors. There you go. That is it. We are back. How good is it back being NBA Straya all the time, every day? Got the t-shirt on, hanging out. Go check this out on the YouTubes. We'll be back on Monday to wrap up the entire weekend for you, set you up for the rest of the next week as well. How good is it? Week 1, I'm just like a pig in shit, as I mentioned the other day, just rolling around. The NBA's back. This is great. In the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facebook, IG, and of course, YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, do that now on the old NBA Straya YouTube. Hit the little bell button as well. You get a bloody notification every time we put up the new show, which is every day because it's daily. Anyway. And TikTok. You can see me doing that. I also do the Friday drop-off clicks. I'm going to see if I do that every day with drop-offs. I just don't know. We'll see how we go. But that'll be on Instagram, Facey, in the Reels, and I'm trying to get on TikTok as well. But there's lots of fun shit over there. Go check it out. Get around NFL Australia with myself and Gaz as well. That is awesome each week, chopping it up about the NFL. You can see my brief preview as well over at news.com.au. Jeez, Jim, is that your job? Yeah, kind of. Chuck us a rating review. Hey, I keep yelling about this. If you haven't rated and reviewed this show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, if you haven't left a comment, what are you doing? You're taking the piss. Go jump on them. Chuck a comment in there. Jim, we love you. Thanks, mate. Or just, geez, I hate that Jim bloke, but 5 stars anyway. You know, all that good stuff. Get around it, please, would ya? Come on. Help a brother out. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever app you use on your Android phone. Just rate, review, star, subscribe. Tell them, mate. It's a new season. We're going hammer and tongs. It's going to be fun as. Strap in. Oh, yes. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song They Rule. So does House Hats. As well as Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinator, Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Sex Jedi, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear on this show. Give them a smash on Bandcamp, Drill Down Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify. Remember, NBA Straya supports Australian bands, so should you. And that is it. We'll chuck a Cooking with Bainesy on the end of this one as a tribute to the great man. And we will catch you on Monday, you dickheads. Have a great weekend. Spend it hungover on the couch watching hoops like I will. And we'll see you on Monday.
Cooking with Bainesy is filmed in front of a live, socially distanced audience.
And now it's time for Cooking with Bainesy with your host, Aaron Bangers Baines. All right. G'day. It's good to see the smattering of yous here in the studio. This is amazing. It's nice to see you're all wearing your face mask and you're all socially distanced. Oh, that's beautiful, it is. But the best part is this is Cooking with Bainesy, and I'm your host, Aaron Bangers Baines. And look, in this here very special socially distanced episode, I'm going to get you to whip up an absolute treat. That's right, it's one of my all-time Aussie favourites. You can have it whenever. It's probably the best slab of meat you'll ever bloody eat, because that's right. It's the secret Bangers Brisket Barbie Bonanza, straight out of Texas. You little ripper. Texas, Australia, I'll tell you what. That's right, I love me a big old slab of brisket cooked up on the barbie for about 8 years. Or in this case, about 8 hours. And it's easy as, mate. You might think it's a bit complicated, but there's nothing less complicated than just cooking some meat And if you really do it properly and get all your sides bang on, it'll help you keep up this physique. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's get stuck in. It is bloody simple, mate. All you gotta do is go down to your butcher, ask him for his best bit of brisket. You might have to call ahead or even ask him. Just walk past a few days beforehand, whatever. It's bloody worth it. Get the best brisket you can. Then you duck over to the soupy, get your gear for your spice mix. Now, this is banger spice mix. Brown sugar, paprika, onion, garlic, salt, some mustard, some cumin, and a bit of black pepper. And you're laughing. Get some gear for your sauce. You need some vinegar, some ketchup, or as I call it, tomato sauce, Worcestershire sauce, garlic, and some of those spices. Just toss them in. Go fucking mad. Now, get some sides. Load up with your sides at the soupy. Some green beans, some mac and cheese, a thing of coleslaw, plenty of potatoes to get more whipped than my mate Simo when he was with that Kardashian. There you go. Now, fire up your barbie. Get her up to a nice even 120. Look, you can use charcoal, you can use gas. It doesn't bloody matter. If you're using charcoal, throw in some tasty, wood chips in there for some smoky flavour if you want. I personally don't give a fuck, mate. You can just chuck it on the grill. Just gas, it doesn't matter, mate. Just, now, mix your spices together. Mix them all up. There you go. Now rub them in all over your brisket. Now, some people like to cut the fat back. You can just leave it on. Doesn't matter. Just rub it all in nice and even like you're massaging my big mate Bogey's hammy after a big game. Oh, he gets you to do it and it's fucking gross. I'll tell you what. But anyway, let her sit there for a bit if you want after you've rubbed that all in. Nice looking, tasty, big slab of meat. Leave it, half an hour to an hour, whatever. She's right. Then bang her on. Just bang her on the barbie. Close the lid, bit of foil underneath it, and away you go. Let that bastard cook for 8 to 10 hours. Simple. I mean, in the meantime, just keep an eye on the temperature. Crack a slab. Check the internal temperature of the meat every so often. You want it around 75 degrees once she's cooked. Neck a bunch of 10s. Watch some footy. Then with about an hour until she's good, get to work on your sides. Whip your potatoes. Cook your greens, your mac and cheese. Dump your coleslaw out. Put it all on some nice little plates so it all looks nice and neat. It'll look special as. Rip the brisket out. Sit there for an hour. Bang. Bob's your bloody uncle. Look at this. I'm just slicing it open. Look at that bloody brisket. That is bloody mouth-watering, that is. Mate, you can put it on sliders or you can just eat it raw dog. It doesn't matter. I'm going to slice this up, put it on a plate. Bob's your bloody Barbie-loving uncle. It is awesome. My friends, this is an absolute bloody ripper of a bangers brisket Barbie bonanza. It is delicious and it'll dead set impress all your mates and all the Sheilas. Don't you worry about that. All right, so just getting stuck in. This is bloody delicious. Do it at home yourselves. You'll have heaps left over to take to work for lunch, whatever, mate. You will love it. Just look how bloody... Look, I've cooked enough for all of you, so you're going to love it. There you go. All right, tune in next week to NBA Straya for a new recipe, and we will see you then on the next episode of Cooking with Bainesy.